So to get a lot of my shots that I get, I use a FlyMount Aero, which is an absolutely fantastic bit of kit. Fits onto your wing. You can adjust it for different sizes on the wing, and you can use them on kites as well. But they do come off. If you have a particularly bad impact, or if you knock it on the board, they can come off. So they provide you with a leash, which is this orange line, and basically they want you to sort of put it up to somewhere up on the front, and yeah, it's fine. It will come off and it will dangle, and you'll save your camera. I had one come off and it basically dangled and it got caught around my arm, and it was just a bit of a pain. So I thought of a different way of doing it. So what I've done is I used some of the orange line, and in the center here there's a little there's a little sort of tube of metal. So I put the line through and I leave a little bit on this side, tie it off with a loop, and then I've used like kayaking elastic, the stuff that you use for securing your bits and bobs on a kayak. You can pick it up on eBay, you know, like 3 or 4 meters a bit, but not a lot. And these little plastic hooks, and I basically make it so that it's a little bit shorter than the distance I need it to be, and obviously then I secure it. I did have a hook, but obviously that's degraded and gone, but I've just tied it on now. And then what you can do is you can put it onto your wing, tighten it up as you need to, and then using a loop, which I have secured through the end of the tip, which I'll show you how I do that now. So in order to secure the loop, what I do is I go to the wingtip, and in order to change the bladders, you have this system where your bladder goes in and it secures. So I pull it out, I put a little loop of line around it, and then basically I just tuck it back in. And what that will then do is, when that is fully inflated, obviously that will then secure that, and that won't pull out. Not really with the forces that you're looking at. I'm not saying it's absolutely foolproof, but I've never ever had this come undone. So obviously once that air pressure's got in there, so that's how I secure my securing loop. I do one on each end, and then I can swap it around as I need to. So that's how the loops are secured. Obviously if you put some black stuff on there, you're never even going to notice it. You can do it a bit shorter, but yeah, happy days. That's how that works. And then with your elastic hook, you can just hook it on, and what that does, it keeps it all nicely out of the way, doesn't come up in the shots or anything, and if it does fall off, it will dangle from the end. Okay, it's flapping around doing what it's doing, but it's unlikely to hit you, and it's unlikely to hit your board, so it's not going to damage your camera. So you obviously notice you've done it, get back in the water, retrieve it, and then you can put it back on again. You can see there, if you do lose your FlyMount Aero, it will just hang from there. It's not gonna hit you. Very little chance of it getting tangled up in your leash. So you just retrieve it and place it back on your wing. Now the GoPros nowadays, they come with these metal brackets, these metal fixings, which are a lot better than the old ones, but they still break. I've got one of these at the bottom of the North Sea, because basically this snapped off, and there is no other way of actually securing it. So what I've invested in and what I buy is I get these little silicone cases. They're about $20, and they're well worth it. I've had this one nearly 2 years now, and it's not showing anything degrading. But what it has got, it's got the ability to put a little leash line on it. So once your camera's in it, and it also protects it, you know, obviously a lot more from sand and stuff like that, but it won't protect the lenses. So you obviously can need to keep the lenses on. But what you can do is, once your camera is on, the thing that can happen is, you know, if you take a big impact and your camera hits the board or it hits the wing or it, you know, hits the ground or something like that, those metal lugs can actually snap off. So by leaving that little loop through the other side and putting a plastic hook on it, what I'm able to do is secure the camera to the fly mount. It's better if you do it when it's off. So you can secure it to the fly mount, and now if the camera was to snap, it would be attached to the fly mount, which is attached to the leash. By putting that little loop on there, when you pull this tight, it pulls that nice and tight and it stops it rattling. You don't get rattling noise on your camera, on your footage. And what it also does is it keeps this out of the way. It's a GoPro 360. You can also use this exact same setup with a normal Hero, so that would also work as well. So once that's on, that's all ready to go. That's nice and tight, and obviously that's now not going to be in shot. Adjust your camera to get the shot you want, and you're ready to go. So that is the FlyMount Aero, but it's got a leash system which basically keeps it nice and tidy and out of the way. There you go.